Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today, and we've got another game for you tonight here at 7 p.m. We are playing, it's U of T Varsity Blue playing in the NACE Starleague Open Premiere against North Dakota State University. So, my name is Endertricity, and my co-caster here is Computer, or Spaffle, sorry.
Common mistake.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, nice to meet you guys. Welcome to the games, and we'll take you guys on over to the teams now. All right, so starting off with our U of T Varsity Blue, we have Aspect on tank, Dino and Coco on DPS, as well as Argini and Koodle. We're going to be playing our supports for today. We have Koodle, who is known for his main support, alongside Argini with the flex support. Coco and Dino are usually interchangeable between projectile and hit scan. And now up here we have NDSU, where we have Montoya on the tank, Otter on DPS with his teammate Avenger, and Lindvek and Holiday were both playing supports. Currently in Group 4 of the Esports Conference, NDSU are placed 5th place with a track record of 1-3. Meanwhile, U of T is actually second in their group with a 4-0 track record, second only to, of course, Fisher OW, who do have one more game played on them. So this game will... Alright, Ender, can you lead us back into the maps?
Yeah, so this is going to be a best of 5 series, and the first map, it looks like it's going to be Lijiang Tower that we're going to be going into first. So this map, it's one of my favorite, possibly my favorite control map, because there's so many different things that you can play starting out here. We know that this team, U of T Blue, they love their rush, they love their dive compositions with the Doomfist or the ball, whatever people want to play. So we've got a real flexible team here, and I think that's going to be great going into a map like this.
Yeah, exactly. I especially love seeing Lijiang because of all the different comps that come up, all the heroes that are map specific. You love seeing the Junkrats on control point or on control center. You love seeing the Symmetra plays when it comes to Temple, and when you have third point in the middle of the water section, you've got a lot of different plays there with Lucios, with Pharas, with the hit scan especially. And all the teams are just constantly trying to mix it up and make sure that their comp is has the advantage. It's not really set in stone what each team would run. So leading in here first, we're going to the Temple. Let's see what both teams pick. So it does seem like NDSU are going to be picking more of a brawl heavy comp. You got the Reinhardt, you got the Sim Genji, Lucio, and Ana for some extra support because Lucio isn't going to be healing as much. And into that aspect is going to be playing Doomfist, actually. And with Doomfist, Genji, Tracer, it does look like they're going to be more of a dive and execute comp, where Zenyatta is going to be focusing a target, Ana might throw an anti-nate to assist with it, and then the entire team is going to try and collapse here.
Yeah, as you said, the Zenyatta and the Ana have some great offensive capabilities that'll really help the rest of the team out with the dive. Okay, Aspect going in first with the punch, manages to get the Holiday on the Ana very low right at the beginning of this fight, but he is going to be forced out by the Reinhardt. Now, NDSU firmly in control of this point, a couple of seconds until the point unlocks, so U of T still have an opportunity to come back in. Koodle Noodle finds a headshot onto Holiday on the Ana, and that's one pick now in favor of U of T. However, this Koodle Noodle actually getting so many kills here, finds the Kiriko, finds the Symmetra as well, and Argini cleans up the rest. It's the supports on U of T popping off at the beginning of this round.
Oh, that was a great showing, especially from U of T. It's incredibly difficult to break against a Symmetra hold, especially Symmetra Reinhardt, where they get onto the point first, and their job is to stall. They want to cap the point, and they want to hold. However, because U of T have such a good dive comp, they're just able to go in.
Speaking of the dive, U of T has really taken the tempo at the start of this next fight. They're not even letting NDSU even get the ball rolling, get it out of their own spawn. So it's Coco and Dino really pushing the tempo a little bit and stopping NDSU in their tracks.
Yeah, so NDSU did step before a little bit, and Aspect, being the Doomfist player that he is, he saw the opportunity and he stepped up, trying to deny the team from properly regrouping and holding them back in spawn as long as possible.
Aspect continues to go in, even uses the Meteor Strike to find the pick onto Holiday eventually. However, he is left without an escape ability now. However, it's Dino and Coco finishing off the rest of the kills, and that's another team kill for UFT.
Yep, and the clock is ticking. 3 ultimates to 4. 4 coming up soon, actually, for NDSU. Let's see if they're able to turn the ship around. Overall, as like a general measure, both ults are pretty equally impactful. You have, or there's no break in the action really, as both teams are engaging on each other yet again.
Dino finds a kill onto Arctic Otter. However, Inigo Montoya switched over to the Diva. That's already worked out for him as he finds Argeny on the other side. Coco now here on the point, trying to do his best to keep it contested while NDSU is trying to push. They managed to get the Kiriko. Diva demeched as well, and now 90%. Poodle Noodle does fall, but UFT is still firmly in control of this point, and NDSU are not going to have an opportunity to come back in this round.
Yeah, that's really an unfortunate fight. Argeny fell early. Koodle was forced to pop trans really early into the fight, but ultimates did not come up fast enough, and UFT were able to close out the first round 1-0. So going into round 2 here, we're heading on to
Lishan Tower Garden.
yeah, we're going on to Gardens. What do you expect to see here?
Yeah, so right at the end of that, Inigo Montoya, the tank for the side of NDSU, switched over to the Diva. I think that would be a better option for this point because you've got that large open space there on the coast side of the point. However, NDSU are sticking with what they had previously.
Yep. So the idea with the Reinhardt is going to try and be a poop and scoop. When Doomfist goes in, tries to engage, or Genji wastes his dash early, you're going to try and actually just walk behind them as Reinhardt, kind of body block them from going out and punch them into your team.
Coco and Dino have engaged so early at the beginning of this fight. They were on the point before anyone on NDSU were able to get there, and they managed to find the first kill. And the rest of the team is just falling around that as the UFT collapses around them.
Yeah, and that leads us to our first cap of the map in UFT's favor. All right, so
Coco tries to go and get a little bit of damage done, but he's forced out, realizing that there is now a Roadhog on the enemy team. So now Aspect has gone in, taken the engagement to himself at this point, manages to see Greek Avenger on the other side, the only one on this side of that wall in the middle, and takes advantage of that, and the rest of his team is following him forward as they get 4 picks. That Genji is the only one who manages to get out with his life, and UFT hold on.
yep, it's another hold. You're gonna get all your ults coming up now, and it's gonna be like a snowball from here, basically.
Speaking of snowballs, Arctic Otter has switched over to the May. Now, okay, NDSU, they're finally finding an opportunity here. Dino has gone in with the Dragon Blade, but he falls. And although UFT is going to answer back, a kill onto Linvac and another one onto Arctic Otter, they can't even get out of their spawn here.
Yep, and all that with one ultimate expended from UFT. They're looking in a really solid position. You're approaching 70% on the cap point. If NDSU are not able to walk out of their spawn now, that will be the end of round 1.
Yeah, so Holiday swapped over to the Brig a while ago, now has the rally. This will give them an extra dose of survivability as they try to escape their spawn here. However, Coco is stalking them here on the other side. Discord already onto the Brigida, however, goes in for the kill, but has not managed to find it. Now it's Aspect's turn to go in, and he tries to do a little bit of damage here, manages to get the Meteor Strike, so that's his escape route out, but he chooses to go back in. Okay, so Holiday has used that rally and given his team a bit of a lifeline. However, it's not enough for them to push out of this hold, and they can't even get close to the point. The map goes to UFT Blue.
Yeah, UFT Blue with a masterful holds. They really excelled at rushing the point early, catching people off guard, and then just really a solid defense with a pretty defensive team. You know, Dive is more focused about picking apart your opponents, trying to find stragglers, and it was amazing how they managed to hold the way that they did without as much like defensive utility as their team comp would have allowed for.
Yeah.
So all right, now while we're waiting for the next map to be announced, have you read the brand new patch notes that actually dropped today, Ender?
I have not. What is going on in there?
All right, so on top of the long-awaited One Punch Man collab, we actually have a couple balance updates, which I wasn't expecting so soon. We have nerfs to Orisa, and a buff to Roadhog actually, and a nerf to Wrecking Ball. That's really gonna like change up the tank game. Wrecking Ball is losing his buff to his ultimate, whereas Minefield deploys faster. Zarya has. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention Zarya, but the cooldown for her barriers is going down by 1 second. Hog is taking 1 second off of his hook, and Orisa's ult, Terra Surge, can actually be interrupted by hacks now. So lots of minor changes, but I do believe that they can like change up the tank meta in a pretty significant way.
All right. So, speaking of tanks, it's the Overwatch 1 tank favorite here coming up. We are going into King's Row, will be the second map in this series, the choice for hybrid. So, NDSU, it seems like they're going to be leaning back onto the same composition that they tried on map 1, probably going to go into those brawl compositions that are very popular on King's Row.
Yep, so common to King's Row, we see a lot of Reinhardt, we see a lot of Sigma, we see even some Orisa, just trying to brute force your way through that first point. That first choke is really crucial to opening up this entire map. Other signatures that we see on this map, obviously, the Widows, the Sojourns, the Hanzos, all of those, very, very common as King's Row is nice and open, got lots of very long sight lines, and especially on attack when you're up in the church, you're peeking down below and you're gonna fire off a couple shots with Widow out of spawn. And yeah, that's what we're looking at going into this.
The last match that was played in this group, that was last Tuesday against U of T Blue versus Gettysburg College, and we saw pretty much exactly the same situation. The first map was a stomp. I don't remember what it was, but it might have also been Lijiang Tower. But going into the second map here on King's Row as the hybrid choice, it was Gettysburg College's turn to attack first, and they just could not get past this first point. Against Aspect on the Doomfist, and then Coco and Dino playing long-range heroes, they always got disrupted just as they were trying to go up onto the right side. So we're seeing kind of the same thing. However, that's a little bit different. Okay, Dino going over to the Torbjorn is going to make this. What do you think this is going to do for U of T?
Yep, so some cheeky Widow shots right out of spawn, but we see the Doomfist actually holding his own around the statue, going to get a pick for himself actually, and he goes a little bit deeper to try and hold the team off from the gates. Really, really interested in seeing how this goes, as Roadhog is a traditional counter to Doomfist, especially for Gita as well. And it looks like he's going to pick up another, he's just back in their spawn.
Yeah. Aspect can do so much all the way back here in the back line without the Roadhog there to contest him. Doomfist is really powerful right now because he's so mobile. He has all the health of a tank, but when he's not getting focused down, he can just get in and get out. So that's what he's going to be using that Meteor Strike for. And then on the other side, Coco has found Arctic Otter, so NDSU, they're going to have to wait until they can push this back in.
Yep, so now you see obviously the goal here is to try and neutralize Aspect, shut him down, and then push on the team afterwards. You see the entire team is actually just focused around shutting him down, and that's exactly what they're able to do.
That's a really good decision by Inigo Montoya to go over to that Roadhog and just focus him down with that shotgun and also the hook. You can really keep him where you want him against the enemy Doomfist. Now Kiriko has used her ult, Linback using that so Inigo Montoya can go forward and kill Dino. However, Poodle Noodle is unstoppable on this high ground. He's just raining down shots. Aspect is back in the fight. However, he is pushed into a corner by the Roadhog Whole Hog. Poodle Noodle forced to use the trans. Yeah,
sorry.
Keeps everyone alive and allows Aspect and Coco to finish off the rest of the kills. You know, NDSU, they really had an opportunity there, getting a couple of early picks, but just could not get Poodle Noodle off that high ground.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was their major oversight, is that when they all tunnel visioned on the Kiriko ults, they were all focusing on the Kitsune Rush a little too much, and Zenyatta was actually able to get an off angle.
So that's a big mistake from Aspect. He went in too far, got hooked, and he had the Meteor Strike available, but he didn't get to use it. Now, 5v4 for NDSU, and they drop point presence. 2 ticks already taken. Can Coco on this high ground do something? So he has to drop down to touch the point, and he's barely keeping it contested. Poodle Noodle doing what he does best on that high ground, gets 1 kill, and then now Coco falls. However, Aspect is back, and now Dino, he's gone on. It's like he's on the attack, just raining down the Molten Core onto the point. Gets so much damage done there, along with Argenie's anti-nade, and U of T hold on.
Wow, you know, that was an incredible stall from Coco, just dancing on and off, on and off, on and off the point, holding just barely enough, and it was actually able to stop them from capping that last 7% to getting the extra time, and buying enough time for the Aspect to get back from spawn.
So now NDSU, they're going to try what Gettysburg did every single time that they were doing this push, and go up this right side. Okay, so they finally identified the issue of Poodle Noodle on that high ground. However, Aspect is behind them. Coco's already found a kill, and Aspect has pushed the rest of them off the point. Now only 30 seconds left for NDSU, and they don't have a lot of ultimates to do this with.
You know, what a wonderful play there from Aspect. I'm sure that most teams are used to Doomfist contesting them head-on, but actually Aspect came around from behind. They didn't hear him charging the punch, and he knocked off 3 squishies off of the high ground and just placed them in a terrible position where they were like free pickings for Coco and for Poodle.
Yeah, Coco now in the back. Doesn't have that tactical visor, but he doesn't even need it. He's accurate enough here. And the nano boost going onto Poodle Noodle just secures it. Dino gets a couple of kills. And that's it.
Yeah, and that's round 1 completed. 92% towards the first point. Let's see if NDSU can hold them back.
It just takes one good fight. One good, clean, get everyone off the point, get some kills, don't let them come back, fight for U of T to take this map.
Yep, and seeing as it's a pretty close endeavor, like any small advantage could potentially tip the scales. I wholeheartedly expect at least a little bit of Widow. Come on, Coco, I believe in you. I want to see more Widow. It sucks to play. Oh, actually, Dino's gonna pick the Widow. It sucks to play against, but when you're spectating from their POV, Widows can actually do some insane stuff.
Wherever they hide, we will dig them out.
Yeah. So U of T now on the attack. It's Dino, the resident hitscan player, who's going to be probably taking up this Widow. See if he can get a couple nice picks at the beginning. However, we are seeing something different from the side of NDSU. They're going with the Orisa this time around, which is not a tank that we've actually seen a lot in our in U of T's varsity games, unlike my ranked matches.
Well, yeah, it's Orisa, another pick just mostly centered around shutting down the Doomfist. It's actually also just happens to be good into the other members that U of T have selected here. Does pretty decently, like Orisa's able to hold her own against anti-nades. Discorder, not as well, but she does have enough CC and survivability in her kit that she can make it work.
Aspect has been distracting a little bit on that high ground, and that allowed Coco to make a rotation down here below Hotel, back into NDSU spawn. So that's a really good position because whenever he's getting pressured, he can just go around the corner, and that allows U of T to push forward. So now Inigo Montoya falls, so is the rest of his team. It's just the Brigida here getting killed, and so is the rest of his team. Okay, so that's U of T firmly in control at this point. Inigo Montoya's changed over to the Rhine, tried to get back here as fast as possible. 2 ticks is already going to be taken, and its Aspect causing chaos in the back lines. Lindback falls, so does Inigo Montoya, and that's the round.
There goes map 2, and we're on to our 3rd map of our best of 5 series. Oh, nice little cardboard box debut. That's my favorite from the anime, actually. You know, solid Snake reference.
Yep. Aspect, I'm sure this is the type of guy who to get the One Punch Man skin.
Yeah, of course. Well, we'll have to ask him after the game. I would be very surprised if he didn't, though. Alrighty. Now that we're out of game 2, I believe we got interrupted on the patch notes earlier, so let's head back on over to the newest update released by Blizzard today. So we covered the tanks already. In terms of DPS characters, Ash got a nice quality of life buff, where Bob is going to actually shoot people that Ash targets.
Oh,
as
that's
long as they're in
nice.
line of sight, kind of like how Torp Turret works right now. That's really awesome. I like that a lot. Could come with some downsides, like if you're trying to burn a shield, Bob can like change targets a little rapidly. Other than that, it's a pretty good change. Hanzo's lunge cooldown is being decreased from 5 to 4 seconds. Mei is getting a little minor buff with her ult deploy time. And Pharah is getting a nice mobility boost when she's using her jump jets.
Yeah. So the map 3 has been selected, it's loser's choice, and NDSU has decided to go with Route 66. I don't know if we've seen this in the last couple of games that U of T Varsity, Blue, and Silver have played, so this is definitely interesting. It's always fun to see a new map into the rotation.
Yeah, Route 66 is certainly a fun map. Having a long escort map, like most newer maps that get released kind of like fold onto themselves and they like lead in curves and turns and winds, but Route 66 is actually one of the straighter and like larger lengthwise maps, so you actually do get to see a lot of different environments relative to the size of of a regular escort map. Going in here, we usually see kind of similar characters meta-wise to King's Row. You see a little bit less of the Reinhardts, and you see a lot more of your dive comps, but you also get a healthy mix of your sniper characters, your hit scans, and that's exactly what we're seeing here coming out from UFT. You got Aspect and Coco on the dive, you got Widow, as always, from the spawn. Koodle Noodle and Argini are going to be playing Ana and Lucio respectively, just going to try and support their team. The boops to kind of like peel for the Ana in case there's any counter dive going in, because the entire team is going to be playing a little dismantled and be playing far apart, but also together in a way because of how much mobility there is on the team. On the attacking side, NDSU is going to have Roadhog yet again. They're going to have Torbjorn Farah, and they're also going to have Ana Mercy. We haven't actually seen any Mercy this series yet, so the Farah Mercy is going to be a new development here, trying to kind of counter the Doomfist and Genji.
Inigo Montoya gets a nice hook right at the beginning, almost finds Aspect, but he does manage to get away with his life. Meanwhile, Dino has already found 1 kill onto the Farah, gets res, but now looking for a kill once again. Torbjorn falls very low. However, Arctic Otter does manage to get Coco as he's going in there. Aspect now in the backline doing what he does best. He's found Freak Avenger, who notably is now on the support role, and Holiday has switched over to DPS. So a little bit of chaos on the side of NDSU. Now, Aspect moving forward, tries to find Arctic Otter on the Torbjorn, has already managed to get that Meteor Strike online. He's going to be using it to target this Ana in the backline. However, he doesn't get that kill, and now he's in a little bit of trouble here. Holiday finds a kill onto him. Now, Coco and Argini, while all that chaos was happening in the back line, has managed to find Inigo Montoya on the Roadhog, and now Dino is pretty free to just rain down shots from far range. So.
Yeah, while Aspect was busy absorbing pressure from the back line, Roadhog and Mercy were getting absolutely dismantled by Dino and Coco.
No one
just
can hide
completely dove on, and they were actually able to get killed a little bit later than the rest of the team. leading to Aspect being able to make it back safely without, losing any distance in the payload.
Holiday finds a nice angle, tries to get a shot onto Doodle Noodle, but unfortunately for him, he missed, and that allowed Dino to see where he was and kill him. So now the rest of the team, off of that one pick, has moved forward and finished off the rest of NDSU. Dino just spawn camping over here.
Yeah, Dino with the nasty shots coming out of the spawn, and we actually see Aspect switching over Reinhardt. We're going to see the honorable 1v1 Reinhardt duel. It may be interesting to see where that goes because while Montoya does have Shatter first, it is really just a skill matchup to see who can land it. Because even though Aspect is a little behind, he always has the potential to block, and that's why Reinhardt 1v1s are just so awesome.
RJ finds the early kill onto the opposing Widowmaker, and that allows Dino to get free raid and find Greek Avenger as well. So now Inigo Montoya uses purple, he uses the Shatter, does manage to kill Aspect, however he falls himself. And
MTD, and we see the Shatter coming through by Montoya, killing Aspect. Unfortunately, It's not enough to open up the team fight. A little too late.
Okay, this is what I want to see. Inigo Montoya has now switched over onto the Winston, so this will help them put a little bit more pressure on Dino. However, it doesn't help when he's finding shots like that. Holiday's down, but Arctic responds. So it's Widow's out for both sides here. However, the Nano Blade is coming out here. Finds the Ana already, and Poodle Noodle has also got Limbot. Now Arctic Otter used that Molten Core on the point, but okay.
Fat finger. It's a fat finger.
Happens to the best of us. Not everyone. I don't even know how it works, how to interact when you're already in the spawn doors. Anyway.
Yeah.
Just forget about that part.
Classic Blizzard. True. Yeah, and we're gonna see the Widow coming out from Holiday. I'm gonna try and, when in doubt, Widow is probably your best play.
Aspect doing the drive-by onto Greek Avenger on the Ana. Knocks him off the map.
Yep, so 9 seconds left on the clock. We're gonna wait and see here. They do have Nano to hopefully push out, but...
However, is anyone even going to be able to touch the point? The answer is no. And this card has barely moved. It's a very easy win condition for U of T.
Yep, but you know what they say, it's not over till it's over. Or, it's not over if I'm breathing. I don't know which quote is which. One of them is a song by League of Legends, and the other one is a quote.
I think you know which one is which.
You know what? We'll leave that up to the smart people to decide.
Yeah.
All right. Coming on to the attack, let's see if there's anything spicy coming out from either team, or if we're just going to see like a pretty generic team comp, or what we're just been growing used to over this course of the series.
Yeah. I find it also quite interesting when U of T switches up from their favorite comp. So you know that Aspect likes that Doomfist, and on both Lijiang Tower and also King's Row, they were going with Kudo Noodle on the Zenyatta and Argini on the Ana. And for the entirety of this map, it's been sort of the other way around, with Kudo Noodle taking the Ana and then Argini going on to the Lucio. So I think it's really interesting to talk about, like, when do they value that speed boost from the Lucio and his dive capabilities versus when they want that Discord Orb.
Yeah, I mean, Discord Orb is really impactful, especially when you aren't able to single, like, if you're not able to find any picks, if the team is playing too conservatively, then you can always just Discord Orb the tank and burst them down that way. Aspect did pick out a Wrecking Ball this time, though, and see if him and the little hamster who could can make something work here.
Dino has already fallen. I don't think he expected Arctic Otter to be on the Bastion up there. However, Aspect manages to find Greek Avenger on the other side, so that's the support down for NDSU. And Arctic Otter has gone a little bit too far forward. The Mercy was too busy resing the Ana to help him up there. So now, Aspect has an advantage, gets slept, but the supports on the side of NDSU do not manage to keep the Reinhardt alive. And Archnie is now getting a little bit bloodthirsty, following up on the rest of his team's dive, and it's just UFT pushing the point. Oh, someone's managed to contest the point just on the other side. Okay, so it's Holiday on the Ana. Dino looking down from the peanut gallery, trying to see if his Ana's good enough to take that duel.
Yeah, and that is going to be 3-0 for UFT Blue. GG's to both teams. Good games. With the updated scoreboard, actually, that leaves UFT tied at the top of their group for first place. With a massive 6-0 winning streak leading into next week's games. Sorry, 5-0.
5-0, 5-0, yeah.
Yes.
So we know that so GG's in chat, it's getting exchanged, but what does this mean for UFT's place in this group? Okay, so now that they're tied up with Fisher Varsity, with 5 games played of a group of 8 teams, I believe.
Yeah, so just being tied for first place in such a fashion means that you're typically protected from relegation, basically guaranteeing their spot into the next stage of the competition here. Really well played by the UFT Blue team. We appreciate you all for coming out to the stream tonight. Thank you all for lending us your time, your eyes, and your ears, and we hope you have a good night. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.